Welcome to Mad Cat English. Today's lesson is an introduction to superlative adjectives. My name is Maria, and I'll be your teacher for today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start today by thinking of some animals. And since this channel is called Mad Cat English, our first animal is a kitten. Our next animal is a lemur. And our next animal is a blobfish. Now, out of these three animals, which one would you say is cute? I think we can all agree it's the kitten. And which animals are not cute? Well, again, I think we can agree on the lemur and the blobfish. You might think they're funny, but they're not necessarily cute. Which leads us to the sentence, the kitten is the cutest. And here, the cutest is our superlative adjective. So we use the superlative adjective here because we are looking at a group of three animals and we want to identify which one animal out of this group has the most of one quality. In this case, the quality is cute, and therefore we say the kitten is the cutest. Now, cute is a one-syllable adjective. So let's take a look at how we form our superlative adjectives with one-syllable adjectives. Our first group of adjectives ends with two consonants. In this case, we can simply add on the est ending. Our next group of adjectives has one vowel and one consonant. Because of this, we need to add a double consonant and then the est ending. We also have some adjectives that already end in the letter E. In that case, simply add on st. This group of adjectives has a long vowel sound formed by two vowels before a single consonant. In this case, just add on est. You do not need to use a double consonant. We also have some adjectives that do have a vowel before a single consonant. However, you do not need to add a double consonant because of that W. So few becomes the fewest, new, the newest, slow, the slowest. So again, if it ends in a W, it's okay to just add on the est. And finally, we have some irregular adjectives. Good becomes the best, bad the worst, less the least, more the most, and far has two possible forms, the farthest and the furthest. Now let's also think of some famous cities around the world. One very famous city is Moscow. Another famous city is Paris. And yet another famous city, Tokyo. Out of these three cities, which city is romantic? Well, I think we can all agree it is Paris, because Paris is famous for being romantic. And which cities are not romantic? Well, Moscow is very cold, so maybe that's not so romantic. And Tokyo is very busy and very crowded, so also maybe not so romantic. So, out of these three cities, we can say Paris is the most romantic. And again, we use the superlative form here because we are looking at a group of cities. We are not just comparing two things. We are looking at three or maybe even more and we are deciding which one city is at the top of a certain quality, in this case, romantic. So in this case, why did we add on the most before romantic? Well, the reason for that is that romantic has more than 2 syllables. So when we have adjectives with 2 or more syllables, they take a different form. Our first group of adjectives have 2 syllables, but we have 2 choices. It's possible to use the est ending. It's also possible to keep the base form of the adjective but add on most. So clever, you can say the cleverest or the most clever. Quiet, we can say the quietest or the most quiet. Healthy, we can say the healthiest or the most healthy. Now, especially with this group of 2-syllable adjectives, the thing to really watch out for is to not combine the 2 forms. So we don't want to say something like the most cleverest. You want to choose. It's either the cleverest or the most clever. We also have some other 2-syllable adjectives which only use most. And then we have our 3-syllable adjectives, which again, we only combine with most. We also have some 4-syllable adjectives. Again, they only use most. And all of our adjectives with the ing ending only use most. Whether they are 2 syllables, like tiring, we say the most tiring. 3 syllables, like exciting, the most exciting. And 4 syllables, like fascinating, it's the most fascinating. So now that we have an idea of why we use superlative adjectives and how to form them, let's go ahead and try it out. We want to choose one of the pictured items and the superlative form of the given adjective. So our first group is cherries, grapefruit, limes, and we want to use the adjective sweet. So our complete sentence using a superlative adjective would be, cherries are the sweetest. Let's try it again. This time we have an office, an outdoor cafe, and a shopping mall. And we want to use the adjective relaxing. Our sentence with a superlative adjective would be, the outdoor cafe is the most relaxing. All right, now let's test our knowledge of using superlative adjectives with some editing. We want to correct the mistakes using superlative adjectives in the following sentences. My brother is the most tallest person in my family. Well, as we said before, we don't want to combine most with the est ending. The correct way to say this is, my brother is the tallest person in my family. San Diego has the goodest weather in the States. The correct way to say this is, San Diego has the best weather in the States. We need to remember that good would be an irregular superlative adjective. Lions are most dangerous animals in the wild. The correct way to say this is, lions are the most dangerous animals in the wild. It's easy to sometimes forget to add the in front of a superlative adjective, but we need it. What is the interestingest show on TV? The correct way to say this is, what is the most interesting show on TV? Again, with our ing adjectives, we always form the superlative by adding the most. NYC is the most exciting city, then Seattle. Here, the correct way to say this is, NYC is the most exciting city in the US. We need to remember why we use a superlative adjective. And that's because we are choosing one thing out of a group. So you don't want to compare only two things. Okay, that was our brief introduction to using and forming superlative adjectives. My name is Maria, and if you have any questions or comments, you can add them into the comment section below. Or, as always, feel free to send me an email at madcatenglish@gmail.com. That little meow you heard in the previous slide was one of the inspirations for naming this channel Mad Cat. That was my boyfriend's cat, Sasha, who's here helping me record today. And I hope to see you for the next lesson. So all of our Mad Cats, both my own, Brow, and my boyfriend's, Sasha, wish you mad English. See you next time.